Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy for each life path number for November 2021. And what we'll do is we'll start off by looking at the energy and the numerology for the collective, and then we'll take a look, deeper dive into the energy for each individual life path number. So before we get into the reading, I just want to mention that this is, of course, a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading, please go to my website. I would love to work with you. And what else? I guess that's it. Let's get into it. So we are stepping fully into November. I can't believe that we're here already. Like, what a whirlwind this year has been. I mean, we kind of expected that with 5 energy. This 5 energy of 22 has definitely delivered on the energy of change, transformation, and, shifts for many people. And I've said this before, things are not going to slow down just yet. So we're still in this 5 energy universally for the year, and we're going to be in it through December to the end of December. And so we really need to, if there's any area within our lives that we haven't really taken advantage of and really harness this energy to explore the areas that are outside of our comfort zone to see, are there things that we need to release so that we can fully step into something bigger and better and more aligned for us? Because the one thing that usually holds us back is ourselves. And so this energy has been here for the taking, ready to be worked with. But if we don't do anything with it, then nothing happens, right? We are the driving force behind the energy. We are the momentum. And so I would say if there's any part or any piece of your life where you're in a comfort zone, that you've got some level of fear of sort of stepping out into something bigger and better and more aligned, even though it's unknown, even though it's scary, I would say really take advantage of this 5 energy while we have it through the end of the year. So with that being said, November is 16-7 energy. So ultimately it's going to be that energy of the 7. But we have a really strong influence of the 16. And so that's really what I'm going to sort of be speaking to when I talk about the collective energies this month and what we can kind of see come to fruition. The 7 energy is sort of lurking behind the scenes, right? It's like the core energy. And so we are going to feel that energy. But the 16 influence is going to help push us into that 7 energy, if that makes sense. So there's a lot to go over, so let's dive in. So November ushers in this universal vibration of the 16-7 energy, as I just said. So there's going to be this sort of beautiful, supportive energy for expressing yourself through writing, through speaking. You may find that you tend to be extra magnetic at this time, like people are just sort of drawn to you, or you're drawn to other people, but it's like an exchange of energy. Like there's just this magnetism. And it's sort of like this energy of drawing people to you because they're serving some kind of purpose within your journey. Like there's a reason why these people are coming to you at this time, or there's a reason why people are being drawn to you at this time. They have something to offer, something to contribute to your journey, and vice versa. And so pay attention to those people who are coming to you at this time. Pay attention to the things that are coming to you at this time. Don't ignore it or necessarily see it as a burden. Try to understand why these people are coming into your life. It could be that it's a lesson. It could be that there's something there to show you. But I really get that feeling like this is going to be something where it's kind of, it's really positive energy. Like it doesn't feel like a struggle energy. It feels like people coming to you because you can use their gifts. Like their gifts will complement your gifts, and what you guys can do together will just create something really beautiful within the world. So that's the kind of energy that I'm talking about when I'm talking about this magnetism. And it could be about relationships as well. You could really be attracting in those soul partners, those people who are just part of your circle at this time, and people who are probably going to be within your life for some period of time. These people are going to be especially drawn to your energy, your ideas, and to you, to your light, to what you are putting out there. So again, pay extra attention to how you are expressing yourself. Is it through negativity, shame, manipulation, fear? If so, then you are sort of being extra magnetic in that area, right? So what you'll attract more of is that negativity, is that shame, is that manipulation, right? And so again, this is going to be an energy and a vibrational match of people you will sort of invite into your experience. So this is going to be really important to understand that where you focus your energy at this time, especially, will create the experience that you have, right? That you are sort of nurturing and inviting in. So be certain that it's an experience that you want to be having, right? I say that a lot, but we have more power and control over our experience than we give ourselves credit for. And so again, if you are expressing yourself in a way that is full of negativity, full of shame, full of manipulation, full of fear, full of judgment of self or others, that is going to be what you are putting out to the universe to magnetize back to you, right? To bring back within to your experience. And so you're telling the universe, this is what I want more of because this is what I'm contributing my energy and my focus towards. So pay close attention to how it is that you're expressing yourself, how it is that you're showing up, how it is that you're trying to get your message across. Because remember, people are going to be drawn not only to you, but to your energy and your ideas and your expression. So just pay close attention to that. And it isn't about being positive all of the time, right? This isn't about toxic positivity. This is life, and we have big emotions, right? We're meant to feel and experience, and no one can do that for us, right? We're meant to experience the emotions. We're meant to experience the feelings. So what I mean by focusing on how you are expressing yourself has more to do with your contribution. So you may be feeling the negativity or the trials and tribulations of life, right? That's totally normal. But is that what you wish to contribute into the collective energy with your expression? So when the negative thoughts or the negative feelings come in strongly, this is going to be a time for, and this is very 7 energy, for going within, feeling and working through what surfaces, and then seeking the guidance and resources of others to assist you through it, right? And to sort of hit pause on sending that energy out into the world, right? And sort of not magnifying that negativity or those lower vibrations. It is totally normal and okay to feel them. Again, we are expressive, we are emotional beings. We're meant to feel it all. And when we're not feeling something, it's because we're suppressing it, and that just creates issues, right? And so if anybody's telling you to suppress those energies, then, they're really telling you to hurt yourself, right? You want to feel them. You want to move through them. You want to transmute them. What we're talking about here is hitting pause on sending that energy out into the world, in expressing it in a way that it's contributing to the greater collective and having some kind of effect on your environment, if that makes sense. So that's a fire that just doesn't need to be fueled, right? So when you're back to, your personal state of peace, harmony, joy, positivity, and you feel ready to share, then share that light, fuel that fire for the collective, right? Contribute that. Then those are the people, places, and things that you will draw into your experience. Those are the people, places, and things that will be sort of magnified and who will sort of catch your attention and who you will draw in. So again, you really want to pay attention to your thoughts at this time and, which thoughts you take action on. This is really important as well. Emotions, feelings, again, they're meant to be felt and experienced and moved through. However, thoughts can be changed. And we get to decide which thoughts we put our energy and our action behind to create the momentum. So with this powerful 16/7 energy, pay extra close attention to your thoughts, to your mindset. What are you giving your power to? Those thoughts are the seeds that, when they're planted, create the outward manifestation of our experience. So change the thoughts, change the mindset, change the experience. If it's a negative one, right? Again, I want to be very clear on this because I think that in the spiritual community, there's this misconception or misinterpretation of positivity where it's like, oh, we have to be positive all the time and toxic positivity and we can't talk about being positive. It's not about that. It's about, again, feeling all of the emotions, positive, negative, sad. And there's really no positive or negative, right? It's just emotions. It's your body, again, speaking through you and telling you, like giving you the red flags or giving you the notification that, hey, maybe you need some rest and relaxation at this time. Maybe you need to cry. Maybe you need to, put your face in a pillow and just let it out and scream or whatever. Or maybe you need to go into nature and just relax. But we need to feel the emotions, right? Nobody is saying to avoid or change the emotion without experiencing it and moving through it. Experiencing and feeling the emotion is incredibly healthy. What we are saying, or what I'm saying, is change the thought. And so again, if a negative thought comes into your awareness, you get to decide whether or not you take action on that thought, right? Or whether you're going to feed into that thought and give it power. The thought is of the mind, right? So again, that's something that we have the power to change. And it's through changing that thought, that mindset, that belief, whatever, that you do in turn change the experience, because you in turn change how you show up to the experience, the effort and the energy that you put into it. Okay? So I hope that's clear. Nobody's telling you to suppress or avoid your emotions. Please feel them, and if you need assistance to help you move through them, please use those resources, right? Find somebody who can help you to do that. And there's no shame in that. And same thing with changing the thought. If you struggle with changing those thoughts as they come in and you tend to sort of act on those more negative thoughts because sometimes they're easier to believe, there's coaches, there's readers, there's therapists, there's doctors, whatever you need to assist you in learning how to change that thought when it comes in and deciding on taking more appropriate actions to create the environment and the experience that is more conducive for your higher expression. So the 16/7 energy is really going to be highlighting for you where it might be that you are contributing or taking action on those thoughts that aren't serving you, right? So this is going to be a time when sudden and unforeseen events can sort of overthrow or shed direct light on those debilitating mindsets and habits, right, that need to be altered in order to be better serving. So this is going to be another period for, and I know people are so tired of hearing this because it seems like we've been in this shift for, since 2020, but it's important. It's very important, or it wouldn't be happening. So this is going to be another period for that massive awakening and sort of insights that push you to change course if the direction that you were moving towards was a dead end. So in tarot, this energy would be similar to sort of Tower energy or the Judgment card, or I would say even the Tower and Judgment card. So this is going to be a time for awakening, for big insights, for secrets being revealed, both good and bad, or not so great, right? And there is no good or bad. It's kind of like everything contributes towards our journey and helping us to get to our highest expression. So, but some are more uncomfortable than others. Let's put it that way. So both bring clarity, right? The more positive and the more challenging, both bring some level of clarity. And that's what we are being provided at this time through this month. So any dead weights that need to be released or any dead skin that needs to be shed, allow it to happen, right? Allow it to fall away, because you are emerging at this time as a more authentic version of yourself. And it's really hard to do that if you're carrying dead weight, if you're carrying, that old skin that really just doesn't even need to be there anymore. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be a really powerful time for a lot of people. The more that you have to sort of shed, the more that you have to release, the more that you're really going to feel this energy this month. And again, work with it. Allow it to work with you, to show you, to highlight, and to show you, again, what needs to be released and how to release it. So the 16-17 or 16-7 energy may feel super intense, right? Just going to be honest about that, but that's okay. Remember, the energy is present, but it's what you do with it that ultimately makes the difference. This is powerful, motivating energy. Harness it, use it, allow it to motivate and inspire you. And this can be a time for magnificent creations. It doesn't have to be all like, healing work or major transformations or major shifts. It can be about getting those powerful, motivating inspirations and taking charge and creating those magnificent creations. So I would say plan wisely, use your intuition, and allow this energy to illuminate or spark your creative talents that you want to work with and to propel you towards those bigger goals. This is definitely a time for that. This is a time for when bright prospects may arise suddenly, including big relationships that could have significance within your life for, again, decades to come. One of the keys in sort of working with this energy is that you don't try to control it. Don't try to attach to whatever comes in. It can be challenging because it can feel like such big energy and such magnetic energy, right? And so intense that it can be really easy to sort of lose yourself within it. But it's going to be really, really important that you maintain your sense of self-control and work with the energy, walk with it, right? Don't lose yourself within it. This isn't about ownership, but rather fluidity and true partnership where integrity, authenticity, and freedom are maintained for all involved. So harness this energy to allow yourself to work with it, but don't try to control it, or the outcome sort of could be a little bit challenging. So keep it simple, even when it feels complicated. Sometimes we're the ones, that make it complicated. So this 16-7 energy is a big, big energy. And it's really here to help you and to work with you. So control, force, stress will only create a similar output and a similar experience. So as always, continue to find your center as you work with this powerful energy this month. This can be a very beautiful experience if we allow it to be, right? So refine the thoughts before you take the action in order to create your greatest reality, right? You have the power to do that. So it all comes down to, what are you taking action on? What are you putting your divine will and power behind? And is it what you actually want and what you believe will best serve you? If not, then stop, regroup, and do it differently. The power of the redirection and to create lies within you, not someone else, not something external to you. So big, powerful energies this month of November. Let's go ahead and look at the energies for your personal life path number. Okay, life path number 1. So I pulled an animal spirit card for you all, and you got Kingfisher spirit. And this is interesting because what immediately came in for this is actually around like emotions. So emotional maturity, not being quick to sort of what we talked about in the intro with, feeling the emotions, recognizing them, being aware of them, honoring them, but not sort of allowing them to get to the point of where you're shooting them out into the collective, right? Where you're sort of taking action in a way where now those emotions are bleeding into your everyday life. So sort of what I mean by that is taking those emotions out, or that aggression or that anger or that sadness or that frustration out on the people that you love, out on the people that you don't even know, where that can create an experience for you that can be very challenging. And it can also create an experience for others that can be very challenging. So again, we go back to the information of that 16 energy of, feel through it, work through it, feel the emotions, honor the emotions, but you get to decide what how you contribute to the collective. And that's a lot of power. So be very mindful of that. But there's also this energy of not only that emotional maturity where your emotions aren't in control of you, but you're sort of in control of your emotions, right? Where you can feel them, but you don't have to sort of infiltrate the collective with those emotions. There's also this energy of being careful not to be overly guarded with your emotions. And so in this sense, I get this feeling of like showing affection, showing love, maybe having fear around telling people how you feel because of fear of judgment or something along those lines. And so there's something here where it's like you're really being asked to step into your authenticity of how you feel and being able to express those feelings in a way where, you're not stepping on somebody else's or overstepping somebody else's boundaries, but you're able to share how you feel about someone without shame, without guilt, right? Sometimes we have this fear, or sometimes some people have this fear, and myself included, right? Where it's like there's a lot of vulnerability in expressing how you feel when it's around like love or kindness or compassion. It's almost like we have to let our guard down. We've been conditioned to, it's easier to sort of fill the world with aggression, hatred, judgment, whatever, than it is to sort of fill the world with that compassion and kindness, because there is vulnerability around compassion, kindness, love. And so, and expressing that compassion, kindness, and love without overstepping a boundary, right? And so there's just this sense of like, not worrying that you're too much, not worrying that, I shouldn't have said this. It's kind of like writing something to somebody and then like stressing out about like, oh my gosh, they're going to think I'm too much. They're going to think I'm, this, that, or the other. And then really creating a lot of shame and guilt around that experience. And so there's just really this call once to express yourself in a way that's authentic, that's not looking for any kind of reciprocation necessarily, but that's just expressing how you feel in a way that is in control of your own environment, right? So you're not trying to control somebody else's environment with sharing those emotions. You're simply expressing yourself in a way that feels good and that's doing no harm to self or others, if that makes sense. I just feel like there's some kind of blockage here around expressing to someone how you truly feel. And that could be like, that even goes back to afraid to say how you feel because you don't want to hurt the other person. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to like create discord or chaos, when in reality, not expressing those feelings, right, is creating the discord and the disharmony. So it's just really this call with Kingfisher to be very aware of, the emotions that you're expressing, how you're expressing them, where any fear comes up around expressing them, and what emotions you don't have a problem with expressing, and why is that? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if you don't have a problem expressing the anger and the frustration and sort of involving other people in that chaos, who aren't, trained professionals type thing. If you don't have any problem doing that, there's something to explore there, right? There's a level of emotional maturity that needs to be achieved so that you're able to feel those emotions without sort of being intrusive into other people's experience with those emotions. You see what I'm saying? But then there's also that other side of it where, if you want to give someone flowers, don't feel the shame and the guilt of doing so. They have every right to say yes or no to the flowers, but don't let that fear of shame or guilt or whatever stop you from trying, right? If that makes sense. So definitely coming in very, very strongly around emotions and being able to express yourself in a very healthy, mature, emotionally stable way, while still feeling the emotions, right? And not creating additional shame or judgment for yourself. So when I look at the overall energy for the month for you all for November, I'm really seeing a lot coming in around clarity, decisiveness, making some really maybe difficult decisions that might have been difficult at first. And it's kind of like you were on the fence about something, and something that's been very challenging for you or has been felt like a struggle. You're kind of, well, you're not kind of, I just sort of see this as like you coming into your power and being like, this is it. This is where the hammer drops, right? Like I am making a decision here and I'm standing behind this decision. And it's sort of like when you do that, it may feel in the moment like there's a little bit of like there's a shift, like there's things falling away, and that can be a little bit uncomfortable or scary at first, but there's also this inner knowing that fall, however the chips may fall, let them fall. I am to the point now where I can no longer contribute to this story. I have to change direction. I have to do something very, very big and bold and decisive that is for my highest good. And I have to take, my own truth into consideration here and stop worrying about, how it's necessarily going to affect other people, when if I were to stay on this path, I would be going against my own truth and integrity. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like this shift that needs to happen, but it's not going to happen until you decide for it to happen. Like you have to be like, yes, I'm doing this, and fully commit to it. And I feel like you're at that point now. If you're not there in November, you're definitely probably going to be there in December, but I feel like you're there. This just feels like a really big sort of like awakening, but not an awakening to something that you weren't aware of. I feel like this is something that's been the theme for you. And it's kind of like now the lightning bolt comes in. It's just like, it's kind of like, it's like Eckhart Tolle says, like, when the suffering becomes great enough, we make the change, right? Like we make a shift because we don't want to do that suffering anymore, right? Like we don't want to go against ourselves anymore. And so this just feels like that lightning bolt coming in to be like, yeah, you know what? This is not working, and I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to make a change, and nobody's going to change my mind on this. And it's really this energy of like standing in your truth. And it's kind of like, as soon as you do that, as soon as you fully step into it, just fully into this, then you have this energy of the rewards coming in, of the accolades, of the triumph, right? Like that energy of like, all of a sudden everything opens up wide and you feel so supported, you feel acknowledged, you feel like you are in purpose, you feel like you're on the right path. This can be about career, purpose, relationships, it doesn't matter. This is the energy that's here. But there's something within your life that, maybe you've been really focused on pleasing other people, and you finally get to that point where you're like, I can't do this anymore because pleasing this other person is not pleasing me, right? Like is not living in my own integrity and is not allowing me to show up in a way that feels in truth for me. And so it's like you stepping into that. And once you make that commitment, I really feel like the floodgates open, and what used to feel really dark and heavy and sort of overwhelming now just feels light, and like you've made it through the forest into the meadow and you can see things really, really clearly. So this is really, really beautiful energy. This is all on you though. This is going to be that energy where it's like, yeah, you have to, the sword is there. You have to pick it up. You have to decide how you're going to use it. And I feel like this can be a month for a ton of clarity for you all. And really, again, just like standing in your truth and being like, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I'm going after. The people who want to support this, come on, let's go. The people who no longer want to support this or who are trying to hold me back, bye. like this, sorry, but I've got work to do. You see what I'm saying? So really powerful energy this month of November for you all. But again, remember, it's how you use it. But I really feel like this is going to be energy ones where it's kind of like there's no avoiding it. It's like it's been something that's been there for a while now. And it's kind of like you've reached the boiling point and you want out of the pot. Okay. So, and once you get out of the pot, you're going to be like, wow, I feel so free. I feel so like vibrant. And wow, things are just starting to really come in for me and work out, because again, what you're putting out there is what you want to receive back. So really powerful, beautiful energy this month for you all ones. Take advantage of it, harness it, use it, create that goodness. All right, take care, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.